righty. We got, let's go to line 4. On the line with us, one of the most highly respected persons in the United States Congress, in Washington, D.C., period. The one that I always like to talk about how she and Congressman Jim Wright were two of the most powerful Congress people probably ever in the history of Texas, along with, we had one Speaker of the House earlier in his years ago in 1960s on back during that time by the name of Sam Rayburn. But Jim Wright connected DFW to the world, and Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson is connecting DFW, and she's the person that really has done such a tremendous job of financing DART and doing everything. And I was there with her, and she was a gracious host to me during the Congressional Black Caucus, and she's one of the most highly respected persons in Washington. We'd like to say good morning to Congresswoman Johnson. Are you there? Good morning. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, yes. I tell you what, because of time, let's get there, Congresswoman, because I know you push for time. What's going on? People need jobs. What do you expect from the House of Representatives concerning President Obama's jobs bill?
Well, this has been very, very difficult because we have pressed for this jobs bill this entire year in different pieces. Then he introduced it as a full package. Frankly, in my judgment, I think that the Republican members, especially the Tea Party members, are doing everything they can to try to make this president fail in any move they make. So I would be very, very surprised if we were able to get any of this bill passed. Every technique, every way we've tried to get even portions of this bill passed, it's been a stumbling block.
Well,
but we are continuing.
Congresswoman Johnson,
we've started to give 1-minute statements every day concerning the bill, pleading with the Republicans to bring it up, to let's debate it, let's pass it, to put the American people back to work. The president has offered tax incentives. He's offered all kind of opportunities for small businesses to be successful in his package, because we know that when we get to this part of the economy, it's going to be our small businesses that bail us out, because they're not going to be laying off hundreds of thousands of people.
Are you saying that
we have not been able to get the Republicans to help us with it? Election coming up very soon. I don't have a lot of confidence that they will change their mind to try to see if we can do something to help the people, including unemployment compensation reauthorization. You'd be surprised the kind of excuses that are being given. When I was asking one of the Republicans one-on-one if they could give us some help, he said, we're just paying people not to work. And as long as they get this unemployment compensation, they won't go to work. I said, well, they go to work if they had jobs. And we're not creating any jobs. That's all this cutting is cutting out more and more jobs. Well, they won't have any incentive to go to work as long as they get paid.
Lord,
now,
they have that negative
unemployment compensation does not pay you your full amount of money.
No.
It's just an amount of money to tide you over to keep you from going bankrupt until you can find a job. But that's the attitude of which we are facing in Congress right now.
Are you saying these people, the Republicans, would rather destroy this country just to oppose, to make sure this president don't win re-election?
That is exactly right.
Now, this is sad. Do you think the American people are going to wake up to this and to see What's really going on in Washington? They are stalling everything. Seems like President Obama puts forth. They are against it. If he say go east, they're going west. If he say go south, they go north. Whatever. It just seems like they just don't seem to want to do anything to make this country do better until after the election of 2012.
Well, you got the message. That's exactly what we're experiencing.
Well, the constituency in here in North Texas seems we do have some unemployment. It's not nearly as bad here as it is in a lot of other parts of the country. What do you have to encourage them? Will the inland port, is the inland port, how is it coming? One caller asked me to ask you about that. How is it coming?
The inland port is doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
The development around the inland port that had been planned to create a lot of jobs and services has been slowed down quite a bit. You know, the company filed bankruptcy to reorganize because of all the delays.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not talked personally to Mr. Allen recently, but he did call the office one day to say that they were struggling along, don't lose faith. So I have no reason to believe that it will not pick up and move on, because we're doing more and more trade, and we're looking forward to even more trade when the Panama Canal is that project is completed, to widen that canal to bring more boats and more ships in, and hopefully out as well. But we can bring in all the goods we want, but if people don't have the money to purchase those goods, it still will not operate at its best capacity.
Now, also,
so we push for jobs so that people have money to spend. We are exporting a bit more now than what we had been. And of course we need to do that. And one of the reasons why economy hasn't been quite as bad here, because we export a lot of high-tech equipment. And we have a very high-tech environment. And that's what sells best for us in foreign trade right now.
Well, now let's be honest about it.
Us from having the type of economy that is bad as some of the places that we're depending on, like the steel industry in Ohio.
Right.
That industry has lost tremendous numbers of jobs, and of course we don't manufacture as much of the steel as we used to. But if you just look across the country, these large urban centers that had major manufacturing are the ones that are having most of the difficulty. General Motors in Detroit and other automobile manufacturing are just beginning to rebound after the bailout, and also after we've been able to make arrangements to sell more cars outside the country. And because when our economy goes down, we have to depend on other markets to purchase our goods.
But now, you've worked so hard with our transportation system here. I'm talking about Dallas Area Rapid Transit, DART, and that has helped in our economy, for people can get to certain areas, parts of the metropolitan area and parts of Dallas itself, by that rapid transit system now. Do you see the DART being expanded much more in our area?
Well, the first level planning of DART is going to be completed in the next few years. But there are other areas now that are beginning to ask for expansions. For example, I met just yesterday with a large group of people that are interested in expanding the service more to the mid-cities area out of Fort Worth. We have the T, that is a DART project, that is a heavy rail that goes from Fort Worth to Dallas. They want to service more of the mid-cities area by using electrical buses and other modes of transportation that might be able to run more frequently, that comes from Fort Worth, Hurst, Euless, Bedford area, and to the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. The Denton line just connected with DART. So it's because we have such a large suburban population,
right,
along with our core city. The demand for DART lines will be going on ad infinitum, because as we complete the planned routes, they'll add more and more. And DART has been one of the best projects that we've invested in, because it is finished, its work as scheduled, and under budget. And so one of the things I've had to do is go back and get permission for them to use money left over for one project into the next project, which is it's almost a pleasure to do.
So your funding of DART, believe it or not, has surpassed by far the amount of money it took for the building of DFW Airport. I know it's a different day and time, but you have gotten such a phenomenal amount of capital to keep this metroplex moving and causing it to grow. And I don't know if we are fifth or fourth largest metropolitan area now in the country because of the work that you've done with that rail system. We just can't do anything but commend you, because I've never seen a congressperson other than Jim Wright could pull off something that big. How do you do that?
Well, actually, if you want to know the truth, you really have to keep your mind focused on it. You can't be on the floor doing a lot of speeches. You can't spend all your time just making appearances to brag on what you do, and it takes time to do it. So it takes a lot of concentration and focus to be able to not keep your mind on it, as well as also keeping the other minds on it. The Secretary of Transportation, making sure the bills that are authorized and various things include your project.
Now, how long did it take?
It's very time-consuming, and it takes a little experience as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to. It takes experience for you to learn how to get certain things done. Is that not correct?
It does. It takes experience, and it takes seniority.
Yeah, before they even respect you in Washington. And I notice how highly respected you are among all the legislators and Congress, just people there in Washington, how they respect you. And that's over a lot of years of hard work and getting things done. And you deserve it. Now, I have millions of questions. We don't have enough time. I got a lot of questions here written down that I couldn't nearly about get to, and people have been calling in and having me. We've been writing and doing everything, asking me questions to ask you, but we just completely out of time. But we'd like to thank you, Congresswoman Johnson, for being
Thank you very much, and invite me again soon.
I certainly will. I most certainly will. So you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you, and you have a great day.
All right. That was Congresswoman Johnson. I can't get to